Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Hollow Table Hustlers. You're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. the other Sean, and sitting across the Hollow Table from me is Josh, a.k.a. the Golden Pop-Tart.
So before we started to talk, we talked about our beverages that we're drinking tonight, and I just want to start off with, I have a nice bourbon that I am sampling tonight. Yeah. And what are you drinking at the moment?
I tried to match your sophistication with a sparkling iced Starburst brand, like the crossover we were all asking for, cherry, and it's a very nice vintage.
Nice, very nice. I just wondered if does that speak to how we feel right now in the game and what we're doing, or is it just?
No, I should be drinking bourbon too, honestly. After that Grand Arena, oh man. Yeah, no, it's, this game is something else sometimes. We're going to talk about that little X factor that makes this game something else. And also Shin.
Yeah.
Shin Hati. She's in the game.
Just, you ready to get her up to Relic 7?
Absolutely. It'll be done post haste.
There you go.
Yeah. So as we record, she is scheduled to release tomorrow. So as this releases, it'll be you'll all have your shins. That'll be great.
Your shins. And your elbows and your
part of the big
knees. Mercenary
gang. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about Grand Arena, what's going on there. Conquest wrapped up. So how'd we do? We'll shed some light on that. And anything else? I don't know. We'll talk about those great mothers. You can't do a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast without talking about the great mothers right now.
There you go.
It's just what you do. But first, let's celebrate some Blurf days. Or maybe let's just celebrate one Blurf day. This is
just
like the
one
slow period historically, because like last week it was just Xanadu Blood. This week it's just Jango Fett. I'm just Jango.
It just made me think though, like this is what it'd feel like to be the only child. I mean, your birthdays, there's nothing else around it. It's all about you. It's about you, Jango Fett.
This is Jango's week, man.
It is.
So this is on the 20th. Jango Fett turns 6 years old, which doesn't really sound, I guess it sounds about right. Game is what, almost 9? Jeez.
Wow.
I hate it when I do this. The older you get, the worse, basically everything is, but like when you talk about like, yeah, Jango has been around for 6 years, and you're like, how old am I?
I mean, when you get to the point where you play a game for a decade, I mean, that's like Minecraft and World of Warcraft. I mean, there is not a ton of games that you can honestly say 10 years. I played this game for a decade. Not me yet, but
yeah, but we're creeping on it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Man, we better get some dang good like bonuses when they hit 10 year.
Oh,
I mean,
they'll at least shut it down at 10.
I know, right? And you're
pull
done.
The plug. Speaking of shutting it down, you know what I almost did? And it was still bouncing around my head as recently as 20 minutes ago. I almost released an episode with just like 3 seconds of silence and let that be this episode, because this is episode 404. So it would be incredibly clever, like the episode was not found, and people would be like, why is this not working? And I would think it's funny. And I'm sure a handful of other people would think it's funny. But it's not a great practice for your podcast to release an episode of just silence.
Yeah, right.
So,
I mean,
I don't know.
Because, I mean, we always talk about our big skill and everything. So they might have just thought that we just forgot to hit a button to make it go. That's probably more likely.
It has
right?
happened more than once in our 404 episodes. So, anyways, missed opportunity, but instead we're just going to like keep the content rolling. So let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events. There's a lot of them. Brought to you by SWGoH for a complete list of past, present, future events. SWGoH events.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. This week has, on the 20th, we've got Smuggler's Run, the original, so, it doesn't eat up your whole morning. Dark Sovereign is your fleet mastery for the Leviathan. A lot of people are going to be really happy about that. That is a grind. And then a Galactic Challenge. This will be on Ilum. Bonuses for First Order versus Resistance.
Nice.
And that's I just realized that's pretty appropriate because the First Order battled the Resistance on Starkiller Base, which used to be Ilum. So
yeah.
How perfect. It's probably going to be a nightmare.
Probably. I know. At least it's not ships. So
hey, this last one was a piece of cake.
It was actually.
I don't even remember. What was it? Like troopers or something? And then like get dots?
Yeah, you had to get dots, but...
wasn't bad at all.
No.
Love to see that. On the 21st, we've got an assault battle. This will be Ground War. 22nd is going to be a Galactic Bounties 2. That's the one where you're hunting the second batch of characters. We also have a Smuggler's Run 2. So, all right, that's on the 22nd. Put a little mark on your calendar. That's going to take some time. We have a Territory War battle number 343 sign up on that day as well. 23rd brings us an Omega battle on Endor, Grand Arena Week 3 sign up, and another Galactic Challenge. Then on the 24th, we'll have a Fleet Mastery for the Finalizer. 25th, an Assault battle. Duel of the Fates. I'm going to have my Relic 9 Poncho pals. For Duel of the Fates. I love it. And then the 26th is Admiral's Maneuver, the Fleet Mastery for Radis, as well as another Territory War sign up, number 344. Now, question, because it's all about me.
Oh, yes.
Duel of the Fates. Have you done the Relic 9 tier of that?
I have, yes. Yeah.
Did you have to do a remod or anything? Was it like
nope.
particularly tough? Oh, good news.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all. I mean, to be honest, some of them I did on auto.
I love to hear it.
Yeah,
absolutely,
it was good.
Love it.
I mean, all those crystals. I mean, I just feel so rich.
Yeah,
so classy with a 20-some million in crystals. It's worth it.
I really feel like this event's going to turn my luck around.
Yes, there you go. Speaking of, you just said luck. The other day, my wife and I were talking, and I said I kind of feel like I have a Clark Griswold luck, where you got all the crazy, like it always ends up well, but every now and then you're just going to fall off a ladder. I mean, but it all ends bumpy. Okay, but yeah. Just had to throw that in there.
All right. Well, before we dive into this week's top stories, I want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and you want to be a part of our exclusive community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. Your support makes this podcast possible, and you even get access to the VIP section of our Discord server for some behind-the-scenes banter. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
Why don't we start off a little bit with our mercenary group, because right now it's not really too meaningful, but it is kind of fun to see. We got a new drop-down, even though I will say every time that they add one in, last time they added in the Naboo one, it always brings my people down just one little bit, so... when I'm trying to search, we're so creatures of habit in this game, I'm like, darn you not mowing your lawn. But it's kind of interesting because when I look at this group, and if you go into the tab, it starts off for me with Cal, right? So, and then next to it is Bam. I mean, the idea that at some point, maybe you're like, maybe there's a Cal not with Jedi Master Luke. That is, I just think that's pretty cool. And when you look at some of these teams, I mean, right now there's only going to be the one leader, of course, right? We know that, our boy is going to end up being the main leader of this, but at some point, maybe these are going to come together in a different way too. Mm-hmm. Kind of feels kind of fun. I mean, any of them on there that you're kind of surprised about, or anything that you kind of look at and go, and wow, this has potential maybe for some theory crafting later on?
It looks, I'm going to switch from mercenary over to scoundrel. And, it's interesting. There's a lot more scoundrels than there are mercenaries. Huh. I was, my thought experiment was, can I tell the difference between these two lists?
Yeah,
because I look at the mercenary list and I'm like, this is scoundrels. This is a list of scoundrels. Yeah.
I guess you have to be kind of a scoundrel to be a mercenary in some ways. I mean, it's almost like in Star Wars, they make it almost like bad is good type thing, like, man, that's so bad, like in the old days. And so being a scoundrel is almost a good thing in some ways, but
yeah. Huh.
I love the new thumbnails, but I really still think we got it's too much of this fishing going on, catfishing. Cause I mean, Zelbar, this poor guy, like when you look at the actual thumbnail, he looks great. I click into him and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, that's not the man in the picture. No.
Yeah. But no, I think with this group, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it always gives me hope that maybe there's a chance. I know Bam works, well in in his new bow group there, but I would love for somehow him to be decent and to be better, maybe.
Although in threes, it's going to be Balin, Marek, and Shin.
And Shin for sure. Oh, we just answered.
That's who it is.
That's who it is. That's so funny.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to let you guys get in on. So we just realized something together, and you guys weren't a part of that conversation. But so we're just looking over, Balin's requirements, and we're like, oh, there's one more. It's TBD. And then we're like analyzing it. What does it make sense for? And
taking screenshots and comparing them to the way they phrase Galactic Legend requirements. Maybe it's not even a character at all.
Then we're already cursing them. It could be a ship. Oh yeah. Yep. I think it's Marek. So you're welcome, everybody, for not saying all that stuff out loud that we're going to. But no, I mean, I hope there's potential. I mean, I don't want another group that just makes no sense to have. I mean, we already have the neutral one, so I mean, at that point,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we know that Balin is the main course. We know that Shin is also going to be a part of that. I just hope down the line we get a couple of their mercenary leaders that kind of brings in some of these characters. Now, thinking of like CG, looking at some that just nobody use right now, and make it to the point where you have to use them too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to see. I don't know. I think people have mentioned in the past. Well, I know at certain points, but in regards to the mercenary tag, potentially it'd be cool to have like some Crimson Dawn action with Maul, with like maybe another variant of Kira or something, and make her a some type of mercenary leader or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It does just kind of feel like a meaningless tag right now until we see Balin roll in, and ultimately there's only going to be a couple people that work with him. You can only put so many people on a Balin squad, right? So all those other people that are mercenaries, it doesn't matter that they're mercenaries yet. Maybe it will someday. It probably will someday. But So yeah, let's talk about Hottie.
Yeah.
Shin Hottie. I can't, ever since we first started talking about her on here, I just can't say it any other way than just Hottie.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's supposed to be Shin Hati, or
yeah.
I have limitations. I'm a simple man.
Well, I think in some ways, I mean, the character model and how old she is too, naturally, like you were like, should we say Hati? But I mean, she's probably 37 years old or something, and like playing this character that's also like in the 30s. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think us as adult males, we're like, all right, should I say that?
A little reluctant. Can I say this?
Yeah.
Because, it's all fun and games until you have an attractive character and her name is Hottie.
I know,
and then
right?
we're like, well, I don't know if I should call her that. It seems a little forward, but all right. So yeah, let's go over some of these abilities. She's the as far as this squad, I think she's the big damage dealer.
Yeah, definitely.
And she ignores taunt, which is very cool. Like she gets stuff done. And she has her little smoke bomb maneuver, which is super cool. Okay, so basic is called Fierce Foray. This is deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict crit chance down for 1 turn. If she has 10 or more stacks of the new Soldier of Fortune effect, she inflicts crit chance down on all enemies for 1 turn instead. During her turn, call target other mercenary ally to assist. If the target enemy was stunned, deal 10% more damage per stack of Soldier of Fortune on Shin Hottie. Max 100%. She has 2 specials. First one is I've eyes on them. Cooldown of 4. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict them with offense down and vulnerable for 2 turns. Shin gains 10% crit avoidance, stacking to a max of 50%. For the rest of the encounter, whenever each of these debuffs are resisted, all mercenary allies gain 30% protection up for 2 turns. If Shin has 10 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune, she gains 25% turn meter and increase the cooldowns of all enemies by 1. That's awesome. Debuff them, mess with their cooldowns, you get turn meter, like good deal. Then we have special 2 is called We'll Take It From Here. This has a cooldown of 3. Deal physical damage to target enemy and stun them for 1 turn. Shin gains crit damage up and riposte for 2 turns. If Shin has 15 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune, attack again, always scoring a crit if able, and decreases the cooldown of Clean Escape by 1. If target enemy is inflicted with Purge, Shin inflicts buff immunity on them for 2 turns and deals 10% bonus damage for each stack of Purge they have. That's interesting. I missed that when I looked it over before. Second unique is called, the first unique is called You Have No Power. This is an Omicron for, what's her Omicron for? I didn't even see. Territory Wars.
Territory Wars, yeah. So real quick before we go, so you just hit me with that, like inflicted with Purge. I didn't see that before either. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's nothing in here that gives Purged, right?
No, I don't think so.
So I wonder if they're trying to get with a like 9th sister here.
Maybe. I feel like canonically they're not Inquisitors, but like they
kind of are. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're dark side Force users with lightsabers that hunt Jedi, but we're not Inquisitors, though. I will tell you that. One thing about us that you need to know is that we are not Inquisitors. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you think the team's going to be her, Merrick, Balin. And those other two, maybe ninth sister and second sister.
I mean, I mean, second sister would be nice because nobody wants her right now.
She's got nothing. Ninth at least can be on a Vader team. Lord Vader, but
true.
Okay, so let's get back to this. We've got uniques. At the start of each encounter, she gains 25% accuracy and 50% offense until the end of the encounter. And she ignores taunt effects during her turn. Whenever Shin is critically hit, she gains retribution for 2 turns and 150 speed.
That's it,
for 1
right?
turn. Wow.
Yeah.
The first time she gains 10 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune. She gains the granted ability Clean Escape for the rest of the battle. If Soldier of Fortune stacks are below 10, Clean Escape can't be used. So the territory war part is if all allies are mercenary. Oh, so that rules out the 2 Inquisitors.
Yeah, definitely.
We were talking about. Or, no. No, it doesn't. Read the sentence.
Oh, sorry.
Or non-Galactic Legend Unaligned Force users. So, maybe. At the start of encounter, Shin gains 75% accuracy and 30 speed. All allies gain 50% max health and max protection until the first time she's defeated. And all light side enemies are immune to cooldown reduction for 2 turns or until the first time Shin is defeated. While enemies are inflicted with Purge, they have minus 50% crit damage and minus 30 speed. Whenever enemies attack 3 times out of turn, Shin gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune. Whenever Shin gains Riposte and has 15 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune, the cooldown of Clean Escape is decreased by 3. Whenever a light side enemy gains damage immunity, they're inflicted for 1 turn with Fear, which can't be resisted, and she gains a bonus turn. Golly.
Yeah.
Additionally, Clean Escape has these effects based on the number of Shin's stacks of Soldier of Fortune. At 20 or more, all mercenary allies are revived. At 35 or more, Shin increases cooldowns of light side target enemy to their max value. And then second unique is Soldier of Fortune. This is at the start of the battle. She gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune per relic level she has until the end of the battle. So do the math. Like, you're going to want to jack this chick up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Whenever Shin scores a crit or attacks out of turn, she gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune. Whenever Shin is critically hit, she loses 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune. At the start of each mercenary ally's turn, they get 5% crit chance and crit damage for each stack of Soldier of Fortune they have until the start of their next turn. And then the granted ability Clean Escape, this activates, there's a cooldown of 8. Effects are based on the number of her stacks of Soldier of Fortune. At 10 stacks, she gets the ability, and she dispels all her debuffs and gains 30% max health until the end of the encounter. All non-tank allies stealth for 2 turns. At 20 or more stacks, she dispels buffs on the target enemy. She gains crit immunity and health steal up for 2 turns, and inflicts defense down on all enemies for 2 turns. And at 35 or more, all mercenary allies gain foresight and offense up for 2 turns. Shin removes 100% turn meter and dazes all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Awesome.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, it's basically like, so she won't be able to do it right off the bat, but if she's Relic 9, she only needs 1 stack and she can do this.
Yeah.
But at 35 or more, it's like a Moff Gideon control the situation, strips turn meter from everything, and
days
beats the snot out of it too. Like, it's,
I know.
It's very cool.
I mean, I will say these kits have been pretty dang good for the last little bit. They have done, I mean, there hasn't been too many stinkers out there. And this one looks like, man, excited for Balin. I'm just know that, especially with the fact that everybody has to be Relic 7, 5 at Relic 7, he has to be a really good character. And this is just going to get better. Her kit's going to get better with that. Well, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Or not fun, depending if you have to face it or not. But
man, I'm excited for this team.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping, you know me, I hate defensive teams. I'm hoping that this is just a kill everything Darth Bane type team.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's most likely going to be something like that. So yeah, pretty jazzed. I was looking, I thought I saw something earlier about this. Yeah. Merrick has been confirmed as the final requirement. It's just not in game yet. Okay.
I mean, cool. They might swell. I mean, they had us tricked for a moment.
I know. So, well, we're so easy to trick. You can literally tell us what it's going to be, and
we've probably even said it on here before. So yeah, I mean, but yeah. So then now, I mean, what we have heard starting tomorrow, which is kind of nice. Now, another piece too that had just came out is Morgan so that is Hadi's going to be one of the main requirements for it. But Morgan now is grindable, and for some wonderful reason, they went Cantina again. So that is just outstanding. I mean, it's just, I think about the fact that, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon making it to where we have Cantina in that as well. I mean, I'm hoping that they do the same thing with all of these. And it just saves so much time. So, man. But speaking of another one that is a requirement, Great Mother seems like it's going to be a great investment, especially for some of those folks. What I put on here, Great Mother of Akron. Is that what it feels like right now? And to be honest, I get to face it in this next round coming up.
Oh no, that's not cool, man.
First off, why in the world are you in my neck of woods? And you should be somewhere else, right?
Not have any Great Mothers involved in it at all.
It just
with the datacron,
and with the datacron, And here's the thing: is I actually got demoted, and so I'm in Kyber 4. So this person is in Kyber 4. I mean, maybe they released the Kraken. I'm not sure, but they had to be because they got all the good stuff, the newer good stuff. So I wish their pocketbook luck. But really. So what have you kind of heard about the Great Mother Cron?
It's, on one hand, it's terrifying. And on the other, I've come to terms with the fact that I won't ever beat that. I just won't.
So you're giving me zero hope for this round of GAC then?
That's correct. Set some good defense and hope that your stuff holds too. Because if their Great Mothers cannot be dented, and for some stupid reason you've got an Ewok team that they can't figure out how to beat, you're both in the same boat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a hold is a hold is a hold. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's like back when, what was the team? Because there's been a few before where like a new team comes out, and if I see it in Grand Arena, I'm like, cool, I'm just not attacking that. Just not doing it. Like I think when Leia first came out, if I saw that over there, I just thought, well played, sir. You win.
Yes, right. Good job.
And that's kind of where I'm at with this Great Mothers thing. And I want to season this hot take with a little bit of my standard, my thing that I will not shut up about in this game is that I hate defense heavy datacrons.
Yeah.
It causes people to have it straight up, just causes the community less fun. You go into Grand Arena, and instead of doing your 15 plus fleet, 18 battles, Now, like, you're doing less battles because you fight that once, and if you don't win, you've probably lost. You only get one Jedi Master Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
And if he fails, you're done.
Yep.
You will not be clearing this board. And I just think that's such a bad call. It's so anti-fun. And so to see this where like I haven't watched it, but I guess Arnold T has a as if you didn't know which Arnold.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
has a video where he faces it in Territory Wars and throws everything against it. Galactic Legends just falling one after the other. Granted, that's in Territory Wars and with the Omicrons active, so that's an added layer of hating your life, I guess. But
yeah,
I'm just so tired of these things. And the other thing, and then I'll shut up, maybe, I think, is it's a pay to win mechanic that like, I'm not the first to jump on someone's back about this game's pay to win, because I've seen pay to win, and this is not that pay to win. I think Candy Crush is more pay to win than this. You know what I mean? Like, you get to a certain point where you got to buy all the power-ups. But with this, like, it's always been you pay money to save time. Yeah. So if you pay, you get a thing faster. And that's okay. Cool. You can play it free. You can do like in Conquest, if you buy the pass, it's going to be easier. Like it's always a trade-off. With this, it is straight up, you pay money and you get this datacron, or you will never have it.
Yeah.
And I know this isn't the first one they've done. They did this with Obi-Wan. Maybe they did some before, I think, but I can't remember who.
Yeah, I just remember Obi-Wan, but
like, this is the first time I've felt that it's like, clearly you pay us money and you will have this thing, and all these poor people won't.
Yeah.
We'll keep all the poor people from having the fun thing. And like, I don't like that. I don't. It rubs me the wrong way. And I don't think I'm alone there in that. And then, you know, at the end of the day, you just have to tell yourself, like, okay, well, this sucks. Nothing I can do about it right now. Just, if I see Great Mothers, I'm going to lose.
Well, I mean, you said it earlier where, you know, I was kind of saying that Grand Arena has been a challenge, and, you know, I just almost want to go sometimes to like where I just don't care. And you're like, well, either way, you're going to win 50% of the time. So I guess in some ways, which is mean or bad or like frustrating, is that the chance of this person, which I'm going against someone that's 7 million with all of the new stuff, right? None of the old stuff. I mean, definitely spent some money to get where they are. But there's a chance I could lose, and I have a 3 million GP just because they have, I mean, unless they're really good at this game. I mean, they put a lot of stuff on defense. They're Leia, you know, I mean, Mother, right? So like, if it turns out where I just can't beat it, it doesn't matter to the GP. They're going to beat me, you know? And I mean, that's, if you have 3 to 4 million GP higher and have a pretty good defense that normal people in their same level are going to sometimes have a difficult time with, you know, I mean, if they win just because of the old mighty checkbook, I mean, I guess it's great for the game, but not great for the experience, you know?
Yeah. I mean, is it though? Like, it's,
well,
I mean, I want EA to do well. I want Capital Games to do well. I want all the developers to do well. I have no ill will here. It's just that stuff like this, it starts rolling downhill, right? So now we've got datacrons that you can just buy when the character comes out. And if you don't pay money, you will not have it. And it simply makes you win.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty hard for me because I'm usually as much as I gripe on here, I do view myself, and maybe I'm misguided here, as more of a CG apologist than the average Redditor, anyways. Like, everyone's always up in arms about something. And I'm always like, I mean, it is what it is. The game is whatever. I've been a little saltier lately, I will say, because it's just, I feel like the game's in a stinky place. But maybe I'm in a stinky place. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's pretty hard to say, oh, it's not pay to win. And I mean, if that's what it is, then cool. BetMGM has better return on investment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because my brother-in-law actually goes, well, it's a gotcha game for a reason. It's, they're not going to get you if not. But I mean, I get what you're saying. But when you look at like the actual cron itself, and if you're automatically getting 200% defense, how are you not putting that on defense? And if you're going to give 100% offense, 100% protection there, basically make it where there's damage reduction. I mean, you're turning this into a GL, and you're saying that, okay, spend the money and you're going to get a GL for a limited amount of time.
No one else will ever have.
Right? I mean,
you're a special little boy with a big checkbook.
So,
ooh, I got salty.
But I mean, again, if it's somebody that is looking at this game going, okay, I need to spend this money to do this, so I'm keeping up with the Joneses, or the Solos, maybe keeping up with like Skywalkers, maybe they're pretty high in class. But I mean, yeah, I guess it is the nature of the game, and at this point, if it's going to hit that 10-year mark, it's got to bleed somebody, and we know. It's not me currently right now, so it has to be the people that are going to entice to spend money, and let's just say the great mother of Akron is working.
Yeah, I can only take solace in their Omicrons being territory war.
I know,
which I'm like an absolute bum in territory wars anyway. So whatever. But the good news, Morgan Elspeth.
Yeah.
Finally farmable. I say finally. It's like right on schedule. Cantina. We're gonna get Morgan. We're gonna get her up to 7 stars and maybe get some kills with her in Conquest.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm gonna try. I
tried that a few times, and God, that was not working for me. And I have her at 4 stars.
Oh wow!
Because I bought the fancy pack 2 times, because I'm a bit of a fancy man.
Yes, you are.
Me and my Starburst.
There you go. Right?
We're so fancy.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just glad I'm not slurring at this point. So I mean. Your Starburst wouldn't do that, but no,
you're right.
Well, I think with this, I mean, it's going to be fun seeing kind of what happens with it. I mean, it's nice to see now the mercenary, whatever that's going to happen. Obviously we got a couple of things down the line. We got Ahsoka coming in. These mothers, I mean, really are making it into where Night Sisters are kind of fun. And so let's hope that when the dust settles and the have-nots start to get to have, who knows? This might be good for the game, but we'll patiently wait for that.
We will. Oof.
So speaking so great for the game, let's talk about Conquest for a moment.
Let's do it.
How did you end? How did you end this wonderful experience we call Conquest?
You know how going into it, I said, well, this is stupid, and I will not get Max Crate. And that's fine. And that was like my defense mechanism, because I knew it was going to be too hard for me to get Max Crate. And I don't mean to say like Capital Games, how dare you make it this hard? I mean to say it would be too hard for me to get Max Crate, because I struggle with these things that like people will be like, it's easy. You use this team and it's like easy. And I'm like, but I have to do it 15 times.
I know,
and
right?
Like, my brain breaks. And that's the way I interact with the game. I get it that it's not the way everyone does. But I did the thing.
Nice.
I got the max crate.
Look at you.
And the thing that I said I wouldn't do by the past because I was upset with the way this conquest was going, I ended up doing anyways. Because I don't remember why. Oh, because it was like one of the last days, and I saw it wasn't so much about the Ezra shards. It was the Mark II datacron thingies.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a lot of those. I really want those really bad. And, being someone who has no self-control.
Of course.
Got myself a conquest pass.
There you go. Well, I mean, the nice part, though, I mean, at least you know the reward in the long run. I mean, he's going to be a great character, and you're going to need him at some point. So I guess if you're going to, I mean, spending or making it to where you push yourself a little bit harder just so you can make your next GL even better, it's probably worth it. Well, and that's what we say to each other in my brain too when I do something for this game. But
we can rationalize anything.
It doesn't matter.
I think one of the things that kind of got me through some of this stuff, and the last feat that I got was 15 battles with Geonosian Spy surviving. And it's an old tactic, but I just it escaped my mind for most of Conquest until the last few days. When I was like 11 key cards away from finishing. And I thought, I've got to do this. There's got to be a way. And so I forgot how incredibly easy it is to do any of those feats that are win X amount of battles with so-and-so surviving.
Mm-hmm.
When you have Amplify Agony and Riva.
Yeah.
Riva lead, 3 Amplify Agonies. Every opponent dies as soon as they take a turn. So you put your little 2 stamina Geo Spy in there, and you do that 15 times. And that's what I did. So
it sounds so much fun.
It's a blast. Part of me was mad about it too. I was like, I just wanted to be grinded datacrons, but you're doing this stupid because it was Sector 5 and you want to be grinding Sector 4,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about you? How was your experience?
It was not great, but I feel pretty good about the end result. I mean, I did focus a lot more on datacrons this time, and I will say that my Grand Arena has suffered a little bit going harder in Conquest, and that's my justification of not getting actually max crate or even second to max crate. So it was one of those ones where I felt pretty good. I mean, the global feats actually I did really well, and those were actually pretty nice. It was just one of the ones that you had to have some of the new characters for. And let's just say, I mean, some of them weren't even
like about half of the feats.
Yeah, basically about half the feats. And so when I started looking at it going, okay, what would I have to do to get this? My Night Sisters are, I mean, they're definitely more like the day squad at the adult club more than they are about the night side of it. So, I mean, we're working on it, right? So Marin is just such a big help to get some survival in these groups. So
yes,
I knew this time around.
Hard too.
Yeah. And I just knew it just wasn't going to be my round. And I was okay with it. I ended up going through and really working hard on datacrons and pretty happy. I ended up with 4 level 9s and almost all of them now.
4.
So
because I got 4 as well. I'm curious.
Ethkoth, which is honestly the best one for arena right now for me. I'm moving up like crazy. And then I had to get Qui-Gon just because why not? In a Relic 9 Qui-Gon with even this datacron is getting me some holds.
Yeah.
And POW is my next one, which honestly, it's not really POW that matters. It's the level 6 version of it where all of them gain 100% max health and protection and offense and speed. Man, that was a beast on defense. Again, wonderful defense crons. And then lastly, Plo. So,
okay.
And I did that one because, I mean,
almost the same as you. Yeah.
Star Killer. I mean, with Star Killer, it's great. And it's just nice that, basically having that on there just makes him a little bit easier against Ray. At first, in Arena, I was thinking, well, maybe I'll try Plo in there instead. That didn't work. ETH is definitely better.
Yeah. That's what I'm running in Arena as well. It's just like stuff just melts,
Mm-hmm.
So weird that ETH Koth is in Arena right now. What is this world? What I want is a datacron for the Sith that makes Sith just amazing.
Yeah.
And then I can put 5 Sith together and win 10 battles with all Sith in Arena for that, 7-year-old feat that I've been trying to complete, but I can't because you can't win a battle with all Sith in Arena right now.
That's funny.
But I digress. Yeah, I have the same ones as you, except instead of Qui-Gon, I have, or wait. No, I don't. What am I? No, I have ETH and Plo. I got a Qui-Gon and I re-rolled it to get one of those two. I have Gideon and Zombie are my other two.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I spent some crystals taking Zombie up to Relic 5 in time for Grand Arena Lock so that I could use that datacron. And I don't think that was smart. I don't. What a silly data. Like, I mean, if it was ETH Koth, okay, maybe, because that one's pretty impactful. Night Sister Zombie, it's good. I like it. But it's a bit much. I took it from Relic 3 to 5. But I didn't have any of the requirements, so it's basically all crystal purchases.
Ouch.
I know. I'm a silly boy. All right, Grand Arena. Let's dissect this round here. How did you do, and have you attacked yet for the new round?
Nothing yet for the new round. I want to prolong that attack against the mothers as long as possible because I'm a good boy. I mean, it's kind of weird. But going into the last round, it was rough to say the least. This is so funny because here I actually won, and I'll just give a little start. I won with a score of 169. Okay, one time.
Sure.
And then I lost one time by 100, where I only did 175.
Man.
So, first round, it looks like I went against 66 Armadorn. Maybe we'll go that one. And this one was pretty interesting just because I saw that they had some attacks, and it was kind of nice because it looks like they stalled out at 13. And they weren't able to beat my Jedi Master Luke. Reva they couldn't beat, and I call them the Queen Ponchos because they have a crown now as well. And they basically couldn't take it down with their Sith Eternal. So I'm like, all right, no big deal. I just have to do something. Let's just say it didn't go well. I was going to attack Rey with my Star Killer. And then as I started the battle, I realized it wasn't Rey, it was SLKR. So that sucked.
Oh, no.
And so then, I kind of beat their Jabba, with my SLKR, Sith Eternal, the Malgus. So I'm like, okay, I might be able to do this. I just couldn't beat their SLKR and their Rey. It just wasn't going to happen. I'm just thinking all they have to do is just attack. And I'm done. Well, they never came back. So luckily I ended up winning 169 to 13. I didn't deserve it, but I'll take those crystals.
You don't have to deserve it. You just have to take the crystals. Exactly.
Yep. And so then in the second round, I went against Pew 3, which is, again, a good name.
Wow.
Earlier on your stream, you're doing Pew Pew as I was typing in Pew 3. I thought that was perfect timing. And so this time it was actually a real match. And I took Starkiller against, Rey, which was a lot of fun. Jedi Master Luke, I didn't know really what to do with it. But Leia usually takes care of most of it. And really, honestly, I got to use some Galactic Legends against some people that just didn't even matter. I mean,
that feels good.
Bam matters to me, but it just, Well, what was interesting is that I when I went in there, I looked and the Queen Ponchos had a hold against like 2 holds, and I thought it was going to be okay, another round of nothing. So I got all the way done with basically everything except for ships, and I full cleared each thing, ready to go, right? And then I'm like, all right, I'll come back to ships. Oh, I forgot to come back. And they came back and actually ended up, beating me, but I ended up losing 16-18 to 1978. And crazy part is my executor actually got a hold, which that just doesn't happen. And then they tried to use Lord Vader against my Rey. So, but I'm telling you, like, Queen Poncho's here for me. They have held now against C, which is Sith Eternal, right? Bane and Traya. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy with those teams so far.
Yeah.
And I got more going in the next round, which at this point, I just got relegated down to Kyber 4. And I'm like, all right, I guess this is where I belong now, because 3 is too classy for me, I guess.
These are my people.
I know, right? And and then all of a sudden I'm going against another Great Mother. But anyways, so this time I had another loss, unfortunately. This is a rough one for me. Zelian Pitt. Again, Sith Eternal and Malgus did great. And I didn't really have, like, their Rey actually had a cron for, oh man, I'm drawing a blank on her. No, not Shorty, actually. It was going to be...
Varys?
Nope, the other one. The one that can revive. Varys. No?
Oh, Visas.
What did I just say? Varys? Varys is even in the game. Like, what the heck is going on here, right? Yes. And so I was like, I'm probably going to use Starkiller. So I ended up using Leia against it. And that was actually really kind of fun. It was easy, to be honest.
Huh.
But I looking at the defense, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be okay. So I had holds. Reva had hold against C. I have the Boskron. But that held against Rolo, which is the Rolo team, that half Rolo team that they use for the 5. And so that held. And the Queen Ponchos stalled out. They couldn't beat them. It beat Gas in less than, it was 26 seconds. It shows on the history. And then my Radis with the Palcron, I mean, they held against Grievous, Wampa, Malicos, Imperial, Imperial Troopers and Ewoks. And they couldn't beat it. So I'm thinking, this is great. All I have to do is beat this. And no, it wasn't going to happen. Like, their CLS, I don't know what, it was in God mode. Basically, the CLS was unbeatable. And it was crazy. I was just like going, okay, like, I started even using GLs. And at that point, I don't know what it was. The game was just like, you're going to lose, bro. Just stop.
Yeah.
Like, move on. Like, you were at this point. It's just not going to happen. So a whopping 175 points to 1,019. So that's me. That's my story of having 2 games less than 200. You have to do a little bit better than me on this. So how's yours?
Little bit. Yeah, I don't know. So last week was dumb.
Yeah, right. Agreed.
It was a dumb week. Up first, I went up against Orange Hunter. And so my notes in here, I didn't even change it from last week. My notes were, nothing worked, Leia's unkillable, Jabba wouldn't die, gave up. Boy, oh boy, is that true. That's exactly what happened this round, too. So Orange Hunter, I lost that. I already went over that. But my second round, I put up 2,059 points, and my opponent put up 11.
Oof, nice.
So I just full cleared, la-di-da, waltzed through all of their defenses. And they tried to take out my Leia with a Darth Bane and tried to take out my Gungans with Scoundrels, Dash Lead. It didn't work.
No, man.
It didn't happen. They had a bad day. So that was fun. After that, I actually went up against Early Archaic, who is a listener, and messaged me and was like, I promise I won't put that stupid Leia datacron on defense.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's like, you are a real one.
who else can we guilt into making it easier for us, right?
I know. Yeah, so then that was kind of fun because they were attacking while I was attacking on
that's
Twitch,
cool.
kind of watching the scores go up. I only put up 1179, and I don't remember the score, but I was in the lead. They had like 700 something, but like I was clearly not able to. It was Jabba. It was a Jabba that I couldn't beat.
He's a big D.
He really is. And then there was a Saw team that gave me some trouble, but I ended up beating. But they did go over my score, 1228. Then today, as we record on Wednesday, I go up against Nightfallen. This fool's 13.6 million, which, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that's something right there.
Character on the roster is at least Relic 7.
Wow.
Except for the brand new characters, which they are diligently farming up. And the whole Great Mothers and whatnot, all the new characters literally have all of their Omicrons.
Wow.
Ugh.
Ouch.
Man, I got beat so bad. So bad. So here's what I did. I went on Insight and I like mapped out the whole front sectors. And I'm like, I got to do this, very specific, because dude set some defense, hard defense. So, all right, first one, I'm doing Treya with Savage against Saw Rebels. And man, I only took a couple of turns and I was dead. Which, the way this is all mapped out, if I lose one, it's done. I'm not clearing it. So then I tried General Skywalker versus Malgus again. Like, before I took a turn, Skywalker's on his knees. And then Echo is dead. I did get a turn with Arc Trooper, and then he died. Then Skywalker stood up, got hit a couple more times, and then I took a turn.
Dang.
And this is what I talk about when I say this game's not doing great right now. And I'm not talking about downloads or installs or whatever, but that's bad, actually, when you start a match and most of your guys are dead before you take a turn.
Yeah.
With a team that should be able to beat that.
I mean, territory battles, that's what we're used to, right? But not in Grand Arena.
Right, yeah. But is there a reason that can be understood? Yes. If you look at all the kits and the mods and the datacrons, it'll all make sense. That's why I lost. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to change my strategy based on every character's mods and every character's datacrons. Like, it's too much, guys. It is too much. Then I tried Afra versus Finn and lost that. Triumphantly. I got smashed. And I just thought, well, this is going great. So I redirected all my forces up to that sector instead of doing the other sector that had the rest of the Galactic Legends. Like, I mean, this defense was insane. And I was able to eventually cut through it. Tender ships in the back. I mean, the worst ships in the back. It's a Radis. It's a Negotiator, which is an okay ship. And a something else bad. Oh, Malevolence. Which actually, now that I think about it, that's the 3 that I set in the back, I think. I know I do Radis, Negotiator. I might do the First Order fleet in the back. But at any rate, I tore through that. And we'll see. They haven't attacked yet, but God, what a mess.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. That's the show. That's an hour. Who you grinding segment not found. Error 404. I'm still trying to make it happen.
You're trying to. It's okay.
All right. Who you grinded?
Well, I think I said last time Jar Jar's ready. I think we got probably another month or 2 before that comes back. So
I think so. Yeah, like 6 weeks.
They'll be modded and ready to go, I think, by that point. My Ahsoka grind, literally working on Ahsoka. Snips went from Relic 5 to Relic 8. I only have about 30 left to get her up to Relic 9. So that'll be feeling pretty dang good when that's all set.
Yeah.
Now, Night Trooper is really that's the only other one that's grindable at this point. So he went from 31 out of 65 up to 64 out of 65. And I think I had 2 refreshes today that got nothing. So thanks. And so he is up to basically ready to go to Gear 12. Now, Death Trooper, he is also ready to go to Gear 12 when we're at that point. That's another thing I'm trying to do is just get them done.
Preload them.
Yeah. Just get it done. And which is what we need to. And then Balin side of it, Morgan, I actually did go through and get a few shards already for her. So she was at 20 out of 30 and now is up to 0 out of 65.
Oh, look at you.
And then moved her up to Gear 8. She's going to be Cairo hungry. So I think I'm going to end up holding off on Enoch just a little bit longer, get her done first. So that way I can get her up to relics. And so then I thought, I didn't mean to. I actually put Marin into my favorites just so I can use some fleet current, like some fleet energy, just on, and then I realized I kind of want her into relics. So ended up taking her from Gear 12 to Relic 2. And I am going to probably wait just a moment until Ahsoka's done. When Ahsoka's done at that point, probably going to get her up to Relic 5 and then start hoarding, which will be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Hard part is I was kind of using some of my extra cantina on Stap, and I only got 6 this time around. I just took them out of there just because now Morgan's going to get all of my cantina. I just thought, why not? Because I'm going to have a little bit of time between, really the next big things. And so, but I got a lot of relics to go, and I ain't got no relic material. It just ain't happening right now. I don't know why I went all of a sudden really south, but anyways,
you really did. You took it all the way down.
I didn't mean to. And then Zetas, Marin didn't have any of her Zetas, so I didn't end up getting her Shadow Stride. And then I earlier said about my datacron. So Qui-Gon got me some crazy holds, made the poncho a little bit more cozy. And then Plo is great. I love that one. ETH is just a beast, like you said. The only thing is I realized I'm right now winning in Arena, and I went and looked at just a moment ago. I don't even have all of the mods on this fool. That's how good this datacron is. Yeah. And then earlier, how I asked myself, what is my other cron? And I just I said out, pow. And you guys are like, okay, what was this about? I'm like, pow, in my head, I'm like, pow. So yes, that is kind of where I'm at, and it's all wonderful, but not great, right?
Sure.
So
that's the best you can hope for.
Now that we know that the 404 isn't going to work for us here, I got to know now. I can't go past this. I got to know who you're grinding. So who you grinding?
The equivalent of a 404 error in Galaxy of Heroes is when you grind Night Trooper 10 times and get 0 shards.
Oh man.
It didn't happen today, but it has happened. So yeah, my Night Trooper grind, it's going all right. I took him from 47 out of 65 up to 10 out of 85.
Oh, wow.
It's a little progress.
Yeah, it is.
The only other things, because like when you're doing high level relics, it just takes an arm and a leg to do anything. So I got Padawan Obi-Wan from relic 8 up to 9. Qui-Gon's, I probably have a little over halfway from 8 to 9. So that's coming. I took Talia up to relic 3. I don't know. Why not? It's done.
Sure.
And then, as I mentioned, I took Night Sister Zombie from relic 3 up to relic 5 by spending crystals. I just did Cantina refreshes until I had enough signal data, and it was stupid. I think I did a 400 refresh.
Oh, wow. For a zombie. You needed that in your life. Whatever it is, I mean, you needed it in your life.
In my brain, it made sense. And then the other thing that I did, I think I did like Great Mother's Zeta for their basic, but I got an Omicron. So I did Whirlwind Slam for Jedi Knight Cal.
Oh, nice.
Because I am sick of letting the guild down.
Yeah. And
failing that mission. Now, the other thing, as I mentioned last week, was I realized, or might have been the one before, was my mod loadout had Baby Cal in it. So I was modding him and Seer like really, really good. And then taking Seer and Jedi Knight Cal with some so-so mods in and getting my butt kicked month after month after month. So today I took my new Omicron and my super modded Cal, and I beat the snot out of that.
Oh, did you?
And it felt so good. Apparently, you just have to mod the characters you're using.
Yeah, it's helpful. That's they are in my favorites actually to remod because mine's not consistent. But I don't have the right. I have the leader ability Omicron. Way to go, me! So
I've heard that's really good for
the normal ones.
Levels.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's an easy win. But
well, that's all we got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend you bring your wrong Cal into a battle. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. Become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon and share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to Pabuapa and SWGoH.gg and SWGoHevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.